That is an issue. It's in the back of his head. That's what he wants to look at.
OK, Joshua Clottey making his way to the ring as we join Jim Watt and Ian Dark.
Former world champion Joshua Clottey, a teak-tough, fearless, no-frills Ghanaian who calls this his miracle fight. He proved he belongs in the top class by pushing Miguel Cotto to a split decision in a 12 rounds give-and-take affair. He's never been stopped, and he says he won't be stopped tonight either. In fact, he thinks he has the beating of Manny Pacquiao. What do you think, Jim?
Well, he's definitely a fighter that no one has gone looking for. If you can climb the ladder without facing Joshua Clottey, that's the way you want to do it, but not Manny Pacquiao. But this is dangerous, a huge banana skin, because things could go wrong. He's going to have a huge weight advantage against Pacquiao tonight. We don't know if he has the speed to counteract Pacquiao, but you can see the power in his shots here. He is a genuine world-class performer. He hasn't been given many chances in his life. This is a huge one he's been given. He will not be looking to squander it.
On his way to the ring now, Joshua Clottey. His camp say he's not prepared for 12 rounds. He's prepared for 20 if he had to go that long even. He enters an arena of over 50,000 people. The first time ever they put on boxing at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, which, if there is a better stadium anywhere in the world, I have yet to see it. Fantastic, futuristic, 40-yard wide screens for the fans. What a night for Clottey, who once fought at the York Hall, Bethnal Green and Lewisham.
Yeah, but I'm sure Joshua knows the reason there are 50,000 fans here tonight is because of Manny Pacquiao. But he also knows if he can turn the trick tonight, if he can squeeze a victory out of it tonight, if he can produce the performance of his life, if he can use his strength and his size and his power to counteract the speed of Pacquiao, his life from here will never be the same again.
Just look at these pictures. Does that look like a fighter who's fazed by Manny Pacquiao to you?
No, he has a tremendous temperament. I mean, his trainer wasn't allowed to come over here to prepare him for this fight, but he just shrugged his shoulders and got on with the job. He knows it's a tough business. He expects it to be tough, so he's ready for it to be tough. And this is amazing. I mean, he's almost matching Pacquiao for the confidence in his ring walk.
Well, he's really giving it large, isn't he? Joshua Clottey. By the way, there's been a problem for him in the build-up to this fight. His usual trainer, Godwin Zanikoti, hasn't got a visa to enter the United States at the moment. So one of Pacquiao's old cutsmen, Lenny De Jesus, has taken over the job as trainer, and he hasn't been the main man in a corner for about 15 years. Lenny the Locksmith, they call him, because he's got a lock shop in New York. So that's just part of the Clottey team tonight. What he's got to prove, I think, Clottey, is, although he's a world-class welterweight, is he at the elite level that the likes of Pacquiao operate at?
Yeah, that is the big question, and can he move up a gear when it really counts? He's been accused of being a little bit one-paced throughout his career, and that certainly won't work for him tonight, because it's the speed and the explosive power of Manny Pacquiao that he has to deal with. He's naturally bigger, he's naturally stronger, but if he feels that's going to be enough, I think he's going to be wrong. He needs something else. He needs the performance of his life.
And he completes one of the longest ring walks, I would say, in history, from the dressing room to that ring. It must have taken about 5 minutes, I would say, and he seemed to enjoy every single second of it. Ghanaian flags flying, and now we await the entrance of Manny Pacquiao. That's what the 50,000 fans have come to see. And he's on his way. Here is Pacquiao. Over the last couple of years, he has become a must-see phenomenon in boxing. He's cut a swathe of destruction, demolishing Oscar De La Hoya, Ricky Hatton and Miguel Cotto. Out of the ring, a joker and a prankster, but in the ring, a thorough menace, speed and power to burn. I think this fellow generates more heat and electricity than anyone since Mike Tyson in his prime.
Yep, he is special. We've seen several fighters who have come up through the weight divisions and improved as they've done that, but nobody quite to the extent that Manny Pacquiao has done. See, now he's a happy man. He's boxing at a weight he's healthy at. He can eat and drink and live and train normally. So he gets himself into the best possible condition, and the work that Freddie Roach has done with him, he's in supreme condition, and he's carried his power and his speed up through the divisions. An amazing fighter.
And he's always smiling, even on his way to the ring for a fight which, as Jim was saying, might be a banana skin. I mean, the danger for Pacquiao here is this is the date he was supposed to have the showdown with Floyd Mayweather. They couldn't get it on because of all the rows about the drug testing procedures. Now it's Clottey, and there's a danger maybe of complacency, isn't there?
Yeah, there could be the danger of that, but with Freddie Roach in the corner, I don't think so. And the stories we've been hearing from people who have watched him training in the gymnasium say they actually have to throw him out of the gymnasium and lock the doors. He doesn't want to stop training. So there is no way he'll have taken this one lightly. He'll be in phenomenal shape, as he always is. And you can look how confident he is. We're getting used to that smile, aren't we?
He has an entourage now, bigger than Muhammad Ali used to have. 140 people and counting. I'm not sure he knows all of them. Some of them have got jobs which nobody can explain. It cost $100,000 to fly them all to Dallas for this fight.
I think Pacquiao has a different attitude to life than we do, and a different attitude to money. He doesn't worry. He's making money. He gives it away to people. He spends it on people. What a man. No wonder he is so dearly loved everywhere.
And deservedly so, too. Always does a prayer in the corner before the fight. But he's a dignified and humble man who's never lost touch with his roots and gives away a lot of his money to the people, the poor people of the Philippines, where he is, of course, an icon and idol. MC, as always on these occasions, Michael Butler.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Mr. Jerry Jones, welcomes you to Cowboy Stadium, Arlington, Texas, USA. As Bob Arum and MP Promotions presents the event, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Welterweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by Tecate Cerveza con Carácter. Ninja Assassin, available on Blu-ray, combo pack, and DVD, March 16th. And Smart Communications, the Philippines' leading wireless services provider. Sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, Executive Director William Coons, Deputy Director Brian Francis, WBO President Francisco Paco Barcarcel. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring on the 10-point system will be Dwayne Ford, Levi Martinez, and Nelson Vasquez. And inside the ring, the man in charge of the action at the bell, United States Army First Sergeant Rafael Ramos. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are ready. Are you ready? Boxing fans, are you for the 51,000 fans in attendance here at Cowboys Stadium and the millions watching around the world, courtesy of HBO pay-per-view. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, standing with head trainer Lenny De Jesus, wearing red with gray, officially weighing in at 147 pounds. An excellent professional record consisting of 35 victories, including 21 knockouts with only 3 defeats. Tonight, with honor, he fights for hundreds of millions of people on the African continent as he challenges for this world title. Ladies and gentlemen, the fighting pride of Accra, Ghana, and former welterweight champion of the world, Joshua, the Grand Master Clottey. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, with his trainer, Freddie Roach, wearing red, official weight 145 3/4 pounds. His professional record, 50 victories, including 38 knockouts, with 3 defeats and 2 draws. From Kayumba, Serengeti Province, the former flyweight world champion, former super bantamweight world champion, former featherweight world champion, former super featherweight world champion, former lightweight world champion, former light welterweight world champion, and reigning, defending WBO welterweight champion of the world, the fighting pride of the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao.
What a reception for Pacquiao, voted Fighter of the Decade by America's boxing writers, ahead of Floyd Mayweather. Ready to go with local referee Rafael Ramos.
Protect yourself and obey my commands, okay? Let's do it.
Well, will it be another Pacquiao whirlwind? Can Clottey possibly cope with his speed and power? He is very, very durable and strong, though. Even Freddie Roach says it might take 9 rounds. Most people think it could be points for Pacquiao. But he has looked like a force of nature in the last couple of years, the Filipino. Clottey's had good wins, though. Zab Judah to become IBF champion. He beat the late Diego Corrales as well. And he's got a very handy record, and he believes as well. Here we go. Probably giving away the best part of 15 pounds in the ring on the night here, Pacquiao, although we haven't been given official on-the-night weights by the American hosts HBO. They sometimes do that, not tonight, not that we've heard anyway. Looks a lot smaller, doesn't he, Pacquiao, straight away?
Yeah, but he's used to that, and he's used to using things like that to his advantage. But I think he'll be very cagey early. I mean, he's been transformed as a fighter over the last 5 years or so. When he was at a bomb-happy slugger. But look at, see the way is the technique not to allow Clottey to come back with punches. You put punches together, keep the other guy occupied. That's what he did there.
Look at this peekaboo defence that Clottey uses all the time. I know part of the Pacquiao plan is to go to the body, to hit punches underneath the elbows, bring that guard down. But it could be a long job here. Clottey's in fantastic shape. There are the body punches straight away. There's a feeling that if Clottey's to have any chance in the fight, he has to throw plenty of leather himself. He can't just be in survival mode.
No, and I don't expect he will be, and I think that the tight defence that he walks in behind, it's difficult to get close to Pacquiao. He can't match him for speed, so it's pointless trying to do that, so you have to come up with something else, and a tight defence, and trying to walk him down, walk him into corners, but you have to be going forward. And in the opening round here, Clottey hasn't been allowed too often to do that. Good movement from Pacquiao, good body attacks.
He's improved his footwork and his own defence so much, Pacquiao, and all his training is based around explosivity and speed.
The one problem with the defence that Clottey uses is when Pacquiao moves to the side, as he does regularly, he's out of your vision because your own gloves are blocking your sight, so you can lose vision of your opponent, which is never good. So that's one one problem with the tight hands held in front of the face defence, and that would leave his body exposed too.
Clottey was down from a jab when he fought against Miguel Cotto, but he's very, very rarely on the floor.
Clottey's doing okay in the opening round. Pacquiao a little bit busier, but Clottey doing fine, walking up close and blocking a lot of punches.
His defence is great, but Pacquiao has got there with through body shots, and he's doing much, much more than Clottey, who's just, I think, just feeling his way into the fight. That may not be a bad strategy to see how much power Pacquiao really does pack.
Jab, straight right hand.
Give you another round.
Shot over the top, okay? When you paint him, expect
the,
something, okay? He's gonna throw.
Clottey corner, not his usual trainer there. Godwin, Zani, Coti, but Lenny de Jesus didn't seem to know who he was in one interview. Clottey called him Lenny something. I can't remember his name, he said.
Well, I think he was reasonably happy with the opening round. He got some of his own punches off, outworked. But there's a chance that maybe this defence he has will get him close to Pacquiao. Whether he can be effective when he gets there, we'll see.
Hitting arms and gloves a lot of the time, Pacquiao, but I think he kind of knew it might be like that. He wants to find angles to rip in body punches. Not just the fact that he's been winning Pacquiao, it's the way he's been doing it over the last couple of years. They've been demolition jobs.
It's a good solid right hand. The Clottey's actually doing okay here. The body shots are working for Pacquiao.
Just throwing the odd shot, Clottey, but he needs to throw more if he's going to be competitive in the fight and not just exist in it. And there's a danger here that he adopts the mentality from the start that to go the distance with Pacquiao would be a kind of triumph for him.
I don't really believe that'll be in his head. What may be in his head is be strong in the second half of the fight when the natural weight and size can begin to tell. Make Pacquiao work hard in the first half of the fight. Or will he just do it as he's been doing throughout his career? I don't imagine that he's learned anything new for the Pacquiao fight.
Hope you're right about that, Jim. Let's see how it unfolds. He gets into the right hand there, Clottey. Certainly in a give-and-take affair with Miguel Cotto. There were one or two people at ringside who thought that Clottey had won that. It was a split decision. That was a fine performance. Did lose to Antonio Margarito, but he had hand trouble that night, Clottey.
So this is not easy for Pacquiao because there's no target offered to him. So putting punches together, that's just a bit of play acting. That was a solid shot, bit of play acting, but it was a solid shot. I think the heads came together there.
He's playing possum a bit, wasn't he there, Clottey? Just to say, look, not her. Did a silly little mock dance at Pacquiao. I don't think the Filipino will take a blind bit of notice of that. He'll just carry on with his work.
Good body shots from Pacquiao.
These are heavy shots, even if not all of them are landing. It's good little jab there from Clottey. I wonder whether Clottey might just grow in ambition as it goes on.
Well, I think if he's still there at the second half of the fight, which we expect him to be, maybe then we'll see a drive from him, a bit more adventure. But I think things have gone according to plan. He won't be worrying about losing the early rounds as long as he's making Pacquiao work and taking something out, some steam out of him.
Well, he hopes anyway. Pacquiao just works non-stop, wins the round easily.
Relax now. We're in a fight. Okay, baby? Nice.
Well, he hasn't buckled so far, Joshua Clottey. Nobody did think he'd buckle very easily. Pacquiao, you're right, he's having to work hard. I suppose they're hoping in the Clottey corner he might punch himself out.
See, Clottey staying on and keep coming forward. He's not throwing a lot of punches, but he's making Pacquiao throw a lot of punches. And you have to remember, he is a natural welterweight throughout virtually all of his career. He had to stew down to make the weight, so he's a lot bigger than Pacquiao tonight. Don't know what the weights are, as you were saying, but he'll be a lot bigger than Pacquiao.
Well, most people seem to think that Pacquiao would be about 10 stone 9 in there on the night, and Clottey maybe as much as 11 stone 10, which is nearly up to super middle. The body shots again, and someone getting for a little right hand back from Clottey, and then Pacquiao's corner pretty well said, look, watch it, don't get caught by too many of those right hands.
See, Pacquiao is not the most difficult to catch. There's not a lot of head movement. Usually he's keeping the other guy occupied, and that's why he doesn't take too many. But he's not he doesn't have the tightest defence. It's movement and speed that he deals with, but you can see he doesn't have a tight defence.
Clottey showing one or two signs of just beginning to come out of his shell, and he's landed more punches already in this round in this spectacular setting.
And it's just a simple straight right hand from the through the southpaw's guard. Nothing fancy. Again, Pacquiao digging full power shots, and this is really hard work he's putting out here. Clottey blocking or partially blocking most of it.
And he's trying to live up to his reputation, Pacquiao, as the master blaster, isn't he? Really digging his toes into the canvas with these body shots and looking to bit by bit soften up and dent Clottey and knock the fight out of him. It's still early, very early in the fight.
He's trying to counter a little bit more Pacquiao. Clottey come out with more punches, so maybe offering a little bit more target than he has been doing. But there's that right hand again, so accurate with it. Pacquiao has to be doing something about that. Freddie Roach has told him to move away from the right hand, the power shot.
He's throwing that with good effect in this round, Clottey. Always with those gloves up. It's a great defence for Pacquiao with his sheer brute force and speed, looking to drive the punches through. Clottey will just suck it up. There's another body shot. He is succeeding getting those body shots in, but look at that uppercut and another right hand from Clottey. This is getting interesting. Good round.
Terrific round. Pacquiao landing more punches, but I tell you, the solid clean shots are coming from Clottey, and the head been knocked back is Pacquiao's. But Pacquiao outworking him, and the body shots are working a treat. There they go.
Yeah, great shots, tremendous. Then an uppercut that got through. He drove that one through. Pacquiao then got his own gloves up and blocked the right hand. That was better from the little Filipino. He's 31 now. Clottey's a year older, by the way, 32. Excellent round. Some great action in that last round. There's a lovely right hands from Clottey.
Pacquiao is also going to have to be careful of Clottey's head. There's nothing deliberate, but just the way he marches forward with his chin down, his forehead forward. The heads came together a couple of times in that round. Thankfully, no damage. He has to be careful of that.
Round 4. Pacquiao on the left of your picture if you need the identification. I'm sure you don't. Stands for the Filipino Congress on May the 10th. Starts his campaign right after this fight. He's not favourite to win it, apparently. He's up against a billionaire. But he'd certainly win popularity contest there. But Joshua Clottey doing himself proud so far. A man who did try his luck in Britain, but thought he was being avoided by the top British fighters and took himself off to America, where he's been based the last 7 years, the Ghanaian.
I think Pacquiao is going to have to take a leaf out of Clottey's book and just tighten up his own defences a little bit. A lot of movement from Pacquiao in this round, side to side.
Very hard to find a way through as long as he's headhunting Pacquiao, but of course he hasn't done that. He's looked really for body punches. That is a very, very hard body.
I wonder how it feels when you're landing your punches and the other guy just keeps walking forward. That's a lovely right uppercut from Pacquiao. That was a hurtful shot.
Finding good angles.
No, the punch with both hands at the same time. A little bit of showmanship and a smile from Clottey. Just a little bit of cheek there. Even the referee smiled a bit.
I was going through the party pieces there. Back to work. Clottey looks to drive Pacquiao back onto the ropes. for the first time. Pacquiao's not having that. He's turned him. Don't take a liberty, he says. Digs in more body shots. Back into the shell with a high-held peekaboo guard, which was maybe first perfected by the old world heavyweight champion Floyd Patterson back in the 1950s.
Another round where Pacquiao's work rate far superior to Clottey's, and with this style, Clottey's only letting single punches go, although some of the right hands, here's another one, have been effective.
He's a real little fireball, isn't he, Pacquiao? You just can't take your eyes off any fight he's involved with. Look at these shots. Sharp as a needle, really. Some are being blocked, but some are getting through, and you wonder what the cumulative effect of those punches will be later in the fight, as long as Pacquiao himself, up against a big welterweight, doesn't start to tire.
And Clottey is not wasting anything. He's picking his moments to let some punches go. There you are, three-punch combination landing from Clottey. Terrific fight.
Let's get into the fight now, baby. Come on.
Well, fighting Manny Pacquiao is, I would think, akin to being caught out in a storm.
Yeah, he hasn't stopped throwing punches, and we're reaching the stage now. That was a little cheeky two hands at the same time. And even the referee smiled about it. But there it is. But we're reaching at the point where Clottey is going to have to open up a little bit more, try to start winning some rounds.
Here's round 5. I mean, in a way, you're kind of clutching at straws if you hope that Manny Pacquiao is going to run out of gas in a fight. He's got an absolutely tremendous record. He's floored Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto, Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Pereira, Juan Manuel Marquez, and absolutely pummeled Oscar De La Hoya, albeit a faded De La Hoya towards the end of his career. He's unbeaten in the last 11 fights, going back 5 years since losing on points to Eric Morales. Is Manny Pacquiao.
Pacquiao cut down on the work rate a little bit in this round. Maybe thinking if it's going to go the 12 rounds, do your work in the second 2 minutes of the round. Don't do too much in the opening minute. That's what the judges remember.
And a body punch from Pacquiao, but yeah, just 1 or 2 signs he might be thinking more of pacing it. And is Clottey boxing to a plan to come on strong late on, having let Pacquiao beat up on his gloves and arms for the first half of the fight.
Is that right hand working again for Clottey? See, he's marching straight up into punching range. He's always in punching range, and Pacquiao's defence is not all that tight. The jab working for him there. Definitely a little dip in the pace in this round from Pacquiao.
Just looking to change the tune a little, isn't he? Pacquiao here is up on his toes and looking to move and box a little bit more. I'll tell you something, that Clottey will be glad of the break, because he has taken some really hefty looking body shots in this fight already. No way past that wall formed by the high-held gloves and arms. The obvious target is beneath the wall, the body.
Yeah, behind the elbow is where the target is, and it works especially well from the southpaw stance.
Well, he's almost inviting Clottey to come on here and maybe hoping he'll leave gaps for a counter-punch. Looks like that to me, Pacquiao here.
Clottey not doing badly in this round.
Here come the combinations. Here comes the heat again from Pacquiao. He generates so much speed in his punches, doesn't he?
Tremendous for the accuracy too.
Well, I think Pacquiao's won every round just on his work rate and ferocity so far. But Clottey's had his moments and has done very, very well in the fight.
Yeah, the right hand is working for Clottey. He's not working hard enough to win any of the rounds. He's always been outworked. But he's catching Pacquiao, and Pacquiao has been hurt okay in his earlier career. He's been shaken a few times. And Clottey can punch, and he has a huge welterweight, and he's stands right on top of Pacquiao. That's the jab working, then back behind the guard, looking for the opportunities to drop the right hand in. That's the jab, just timing it nicely. Pacquiao didn't get going in that round until the last minute, really.
Pacquiao, whose career started as a 16-year-old light flyweight at 7 stone 7 pounds. Tonight he's weighing 10 stone 5 3/4, the heaviest of his career officially. A career spanning some 10 or 11 weight divisions.
Pacquiao certainly maybe encouraging Clottey to leave a little bit of target, but Clottey really taking his time, being cagey about it.
Looking for right hands. Clottey almost being invited on here by Pacquiao. Just change tack a little here. Just looking to think his way through this phase of the fight. I think he knew it would not be any easy task at all to stop Clottey.
Clottey blocking those shots. Yep, I think Pacquiao just trying something else in this round. Bit less movement, encouraging Clottey to come up himself and lead off, looking maybe for some gaps. Not finding all that many.
Pacquiao's had enough of that for the time being. Back on the front foot again. Backfiring. Clottey so far unhurt, as far as we can tell. He's got a poker face in there, and that body has been prepared for the onslaught.
The thing is as good a round as Clottey has had. Pacquiao a lot more stationary, a little switch in his tactics.
He's just waiting, isn't he, Pacquiao, for Clottey to make one mistake if he gets a little too brave and brings those defences down at any point.
Yeah, well, he hasn't let them slip too often in this round. This has been a good round for Clottey. We're out in the middle of the ring, which is no good to Clottey. Clottey wants Pacquiao back against the ropes again.
More the cumulative effect of this Pacquiao punching, though, tell on Clottey late in the fight. Will he start to sag? Just took a bit of refuge over on the ropes. Again, he's being outworked in this round.
Yeah, Pacquiao's taking the play away again. He was doing okay in the first minute and a half or so. But Pacquiao responding beautifully in the last minute there.
Little jab from Clottey to end the round, but not enough.
Let's create openings now, okay? Let's create openings. Let's take a chance, huh?
Well, let's take a chance. Is the word from Lenny to Jesus in the corner. I'm not sure Clottey be in the mood for taking a chance. I do think it's in the back of his mind that he stays, doesn't he, right in the mix if he manages to go the distance with Pacquiao, because hardly anybody else is.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know if that'll be in Clottey's mind. I think he's come here to win. I think he's going for it in the best way he can. This is the way he normally boxes, but because of the amount of punches, because of the amount of punches coming at him, he's not really getting the chance to come out of his shell.
Round 7 coming up. Manny Pacquiao. Took him 8 rounds to stop Oscar De La Hoya, and he stopped Miguel Cotto in the last round of their fight. Clottey, though, remains competitive here. His corner have told him to go for it a little bit more. Take a chance is what they've said. Taking a chance is also taking a gamble when the man in front of you is a knockout puncher.
I'm wondering if Pacquiao's seeing this as a distance fight. You know, he's boxing himself into the rounds now. Just an easy pace the first minute or so, then revving up as the round goes along. Again, just trying to draw some leads to get himself some target.
Oh, body shots. Tremendous combination punching that from Pacquiao. Head and body. Good right hand. Clottey has an answer. Good shot, that one. Again, not much head movement from Pacquiao. His defence hasn't been great tonight.
I don't think he normally does it. It's great movement he has. It's not a great defence. Clottey walking right up on top of him.
Clottey might be emboldened by that little interlude in the fight. Is Pacquiao feeling the weight of those shots? Remember Antonio Margarito, who knows about these things, saying that Clottey hits harder than Cotto. Well, we saw Pacquiao take Cotto's punches okay, particularly early in the fight, up against the big welterweight.
I mean, that was a good burst of punching from Pacquiao. But the block, maybe the body shot get through.
Heavy shots going through here, you know.
Tremendous work rate again from Pacquiao.
It's impossible to believe that Clottey won't be affected in some way by some of these crunching body shots that Pacquiao has landed. He's not made of metal, is he?
Well, I think he'll feel that his tactics are working, but he must realise he has to be a little bit busier. His corner are telling him to take a few more chances.
All right for them to be brave, isn't it?
Well, it's a chance here. It's a world title fight. A victory here, what would that do to his career and to his life? You have to go for it.
Let's see if he does. I think you got it right, Jimmy. He's doing his best. At the same time, he's got to be sensible about it. Touch of gloves. Good feeling between the two fighters. There has been all the week. In fact, some people said that the press conference was a bit like the church social. I know what they meant.
Yeah, well, they're sportsmen. You know, they're no ill feeling, and as Manny keeps saying, it's my job. That's the way he phrases it, it's my job. Excellent. Right. Let's do it.
A little bit of a swelling by Pacquiao's right eye, nothing much. Look at this attack, though.
Yeah, but everything was blocked there. I mean, there, look, elbows okay. I mean, it's so difficult to land cleanly. The tremendous work rate and spurts in that round from Pacquiao.
Coming up to round 8 here. Getting into that interesting territory in the fight. Some people thought that the cumulative effect of his work would wear Clottey down late on, and Freddie Roach, his trainer, who is eerily good with his predictions, that's what he thinks is going to happen here. There's no sign yet that Clottey's going to wilt, though. Or will Pacquiao just start to fade and feel it a little against this man who might be something like 15 pounds heavier on the night here against him?
Started a little bit quicker in this round, Pacquiao.
Very good footwork, isn't it? Pacquiao, he just gets himself into excellent positions to throw his punches.
Well, signs that Clottey realises at last he's going to have to initiate a few attacks, make an impression at last.
Good body shots again to the rib cage, 4 of them dug in. Clottey again just soaks it all up like blotting paper. But there might come a point where all this just starts to sicken even somebody as resilient, determined and hard as him.
That was tremendous work from Pacquiao. Didn't look low, if that's the... No, Pacquiao got a little bit of a complaint, and it must have been.
Yes, it must have been a low blow for Pacquiao to make too much of it. He's usually, let's get on with it, and I didn't think that'd take long.
Didn't look long from the view we had. The referee was between us, but as you say, if Pacquiao complained, it must have been.
Still trying to find the combination to the safe, Pacquiao.
Pacquiao's own defence, he's tightened up a little bit there.
See, the question you have to ask watching this, imagine Pacquiao against Mayweather, a completely different kind of fight. But would Mayweather be able to cope with this kind of work rate that Pacquiao generates? He's just throwing punches all the time, isn't he?
You okay?
The heads coming together there. Yeah, that is the... I mean, I've always felt if De La Hoya could have kept the pace going for 12 rounds, he would have beaten Mayweather, but we know Pacquiao can. We're watching him do it now.
Oh, that's brilliant. What was that, a 5-punch combination from Pacquiao? Tremendous bravery from Clottey in there, but this is getting pretty one-sided. He's just having the odd success, Clottey, but look, here's the body punches again. It's been the plan from the word go.
Yeah, this is the first time that Clottey just can't respond. He's usually in a position that he can respond, but chooses not to be. He's being punched out of the fight here.
Remember, never stopped in his whole career, Joshua Clottey. His pride. Dug out that left hook, but Pacquiao was all over him in that round. He really was. I've given him every round so far. There's his wife, Jinky, watching away and worrying, of course. It's not easy when you're family, as we saw so horribly that night with Ricky Hatton against Pacquiao.
We're losing every round, so let's get to it. We're losing every damn round. Come on. You're going back to your style to take shot to throw one. You have to start on.
It's a big disadvantage for Clottey not to have his usual trainer, isn't it? That's unfortunate that the usual trainer couldn't get a visa.
Yeah, I mean, it's an upset, but I mean, I don't think his style would have changed anyway. I think it's just a case of Clottey gets himself in the best possible physical condition. And that was certainly low, no question about that. So I don't know how much it will have affected him, and I think the temperament he has, he's coping with it fine. He just can't cope with the volume and speed of the punches coming at him.
Here's round 9. This is the round that Freddie Roach, the trainer of Manny Pacquiao, believes could be the end point, the end game of the fight. There were 1 or 2 signs in that last round that Clottey was coming back with less, and that maybe, just maybe, Pacquiao was starting to really get to him.
Well, I've given Clottey the share of a couple of rounds because he was landing nice right hands, the jab was landing, and then Pacquiao was coming back in the later stages of the round. But the last round we've just seen was all Pacquiao. Really, the first time he's totally dominated Clottey. And it looks as though he's going to pick it up again in this round.
Because the judges never give even rounds over here, do they? They just don't do that. They always find a winner. Look at this again from Pacquiao. He's starting to unleash those left hands, his trademark shot. Back comes Clottey with a couple of jabs, though. Has he saved something for the stretch here, Clottey, I wonder? The camp said they'd got him ready physically to go 12 hard rounds. I know he wanted to prove Freddie Roach wrong. He said, I've got a secret person that I want to prove wrong, and then the manager kind of let it slip. It was Roach. So he wants to go the distance at the very least, Clottey, but can he do any more than that late in the fight?
Again, trying to open up Clottey, but forced back to that defence again.
Just thinking, the ref hasn't had to do a thing, has he?
No, there hasn't been a clinch. I mean, they've been toe-to-toe for so much of the time, but never a clinch.
Pretty one-sided. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, machine gun attack from Pacquiao. Clottey does find a right hand, but his successes are just spasmodic. The odd punch. Pacquiao is looking to step it up again here.
Clottey's defences were scattered there. Another sign that this is becoming too much for him, too big a job.
Well, it started as a massive job, and it's got harder. But this really is the hard part of it, I think. If Clottey does want to last the full way, these next 2-3 rounds, I think if he gets to the last, he can suck it up and get through it, because he can see the finishing line there. But here, there's still a fair old way to go, and the punches just keep on coming. He's got through another one. Freddie Roach was wrong, not 9th round.
Don't get too many punches, all right? The doctor's going to stop it if you don't do anything. Come on.
Let this guy work.
Let me hold it.
Now they're threatening him. The ref's going to stop it if he doesn't throw more punches. Might be scare strategy. Just that little swelling there for Pacquiao underneath the right eye. It must have been one of those right hands.
Yeah, well, Clottey has landed a few right hands.
You gotta make that step big enough, just like we did on the miss, remember? All right? Here, you have to be set.
I mean, Pacquiao completely dominating the action now. Signs that Clottey is going to struggle to hang on in there. The defences have been scattered a couple of times. The body shots are hurtful, even at the punches that are landing on his forehead will probably be stunning him. This is tough, really tough for him now.
Round 10. Could be a shutout for Pacquiao so far on the cards. Could be. What does Clottey have left? He's shown absolutely amazing resilience, hasn't he, here?
Well, that's what I expected from him. I knew he would give it a go. I'm sure he would like to have been able to throw more punches. But any time he's tried to open up, you know, the volume of punches that comes back at him, hurtful punches, a lovely right hook.
Oh, that was a big, shuddering, jolting shot, but Clottey took that one too. He's thrown punches tonight here that would have brought down the walls of a city, Pacquiao, and Clottey has just taken them, blinked a bit, sometimes not even that, and come back again.
Good left hook coming back from Clottey there.
Great defence, all those hit the gloves, and that one, and that one, and that one. Old school skills, those, aren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, he must know by now he's going to have to go for the knockout. He has to put power on every shot, but he can't even. He's not even been allowed to set himself to generate any power in his shots.
There was one ooh and ah from the crowd when Clottey landed a right hand there, but any idea that Pacquiao is going to fade or punch himself out in this fight, forget it. No sign of that at all.
Maybe for the first time seeing signs that Clottey is being put into survival mode when he's doing very, very little. Beautiful right hook from Pacquiao.
Just wonder whether the referee's just getting a little more interested in Clottey's condition. But as long as he's throwing punches, as long as he still looks strong, and I think he does, the ref's certainly not going to step in. He's going to give him every chance to go the distance, especially when he tries to take it to Pacquiao like this. Pacquiao covers up. He drove one through the middle. The crowd are almost starting to side with Clottey, the underdog.
Well, you have to appreciate the courage that he's shown and the commitment.
One or two chants of Clottey from behind us. I think they appreciate the bravery and courage of this man and his sheer bloody-minded determination not to let Pacquiao overwhelm him, but he takes some containing, and he hasn't got there yet. Pacquiao again. He's all over him like a jungle cat.
He is in fantastic condition, Pacquiao. I mean, he's worked virtually every second of this.
Phenomenal, really, from Pacquiao as well.
last round. This is the 11th round coming up.
It's
This
hard
is the 11th
now,
round.
but there's 6
Okay?
minutes more of
I
it.
know you got the power to knock him out, and you got the strength, and you're in condition. Take chances, baby. Let's take a chance in this round coming up. If you don't take a chance, you go home lost.
He looks like he's really feeling it now, doesn't he, Clottey? You couldn't blame him, could you?
Yeah, I mean, the signs are now that you know, he's accepted defeat. They want to go out in the shield, they want to go the distance, but maybe once or twice he'll let the big punches go. I mean, he did come back at Pacquiao for points in that round, but he is just being dominated now.
It's a great uppercut from Clottey, and it's punches like that and little rallies like that that keep the referee from the door, so to speak. So if he stops throwing punches and keeps on shipping them, the referee's going to start thinking, maybe I ought to step in here because this is getting too one-sided. It's round 11. Crowd right in on the plot. They're wondering whether Clottey can somehow stage some kind of late rally. Is what you're seeing here in any way change your thinking or modify it in any way about a possible Pacquiao-Mayweather fight if they can get that on later in the year?
Yeah, you have to wonder if Mayweather, who's not a massive puncher himself, can cope with the volume and the pressure of Pacquiao. When you look at a performance like this against a really live opponent, I mean, some people have said that Pacquiao's last few opponents maybe they've shown a little bit of damage before he got his hands on them, but this man's not damaged and has been dominated here. So what would Mayweather, how would Mayweather cope with this work rate and this volume of punches?
Because he'd be a lot more slippery and counter-punching, wouldn't he, himself? Different fight, as we say.
Yeah, but to win a fight, you have to be throwing punches, you have to be landing shots.
Yeah, he'd be a hard man to outpoint, wouldn't he, Pacquiao? You can see that because he just keeps on throwing and he relishes the battle too here. He'll even be relishing the bravery of the man in front of him and admiring it.
A couple of good uppercuts there from Clottey, then followed by a right hand. So he is having a go in this round. It's going for it.
Pacquiao, having coasted for a bit, suddenly decides to put the plug back in. And Clottey having his best round in a while and lands a right hand. Pacquiao, here's his response. He looked tired on his stool at the end of the last round, I thought, Clottey, as if he was getting towards some kind of breaking point, but he's done well in this session.
Yep, he's given it a go in this session. I mean, he must realise he needs a knockout. And he has put up a tremendous show, Clottey.
Well, the crowd seeing big-time boxing in the Dallas area for the first time in the modern era. Are really into this. Again, lovely uppercuts with the left hand there from Clottey. He's done that a few times in this round. Pacquiao's kind of just given himself a little bit of time off.
The argument is those punches have been blocked. Again, Pacquiao dominating the action.
Clottey got himself out of that corner and got a big cheer from the crowd for doing that. Gets through another session and gets a standing ovation. They've decided to let a bit of air in here tonight. It's getting that hot. It's particularly hot for Joshua Clottey. 3 minutes to go.
Come on. Breathe in, breathe.
50,000 plus fans here. What a brave man.
Last round coming up, last round.
He's earned every single dollar and more, Joshua Clottey, tonight. He's got a little 9-year-old daughter back home in Ghana. He says he misses her, Zena, and he sends money home for the family from his hard trade. Never harder than tonight. Here's the last round here. Clottey deserves to go the distance. Look at that. What a great feeling between the two fighters. What sportsmanship, what an example. Won't stop Pacquiao from trying to get the stoppage in the last round, as he did, of course, with Miguel Cotto. Oh, there's a clash of heads there. Both of them felt that one.
Both of them caught it high, so hopefully no damage. If one had caught it in the eyebrow, although you're in this late stage, that's the last thing you want.
He's put so much into every punch, doesn't he, Pacquiao? There are no range fighters or anything like that in his armory. He just throws every punch with evil intent. Well, there's no doubt about who is a mile ahead here. But Clottey, over the last couple of rounds, has, with the finishing line inside, I think, has just come on a little stronger and been re-energised.
Yeah, well, you can see the end of it now. I mean, around about the 9th and 10th round, it really became tough for him. He's in the last round now. You can see it almost over.
Just boxing almost quietly for him in this last round, Pacquiao. It's almost as if he's thinking, well, Clottey deserves to go the distance. I'm sure that will have crossed his mind as a fighter through and through, but maybe he can get him out of there, he will. The crowd have really got into this, haven't they? They're living it. Just listen to the atmosphere in here is something quite special.
It's been non-stop action every round, and full credit to Clottey. There's that dangerous looking uppercut, which would hurt a few welterweights, I might mention.
It's going to be defeat by the look of it for Joshua Clottey, barring something really sensational later on, but certainly a defeat with great, great honour. Pacquiao has tried everything in the book, but he cannot break this very proud Ghanaian. Last few seconds here. There will be a huge embrace between them at the end. Pacquiao is going to win, but tonight he can't blast the man out. It goes the full 12 rounds. It is over. Even then, though, I thought Pacquiao looked pretty special and electric again.
Yeah, another tremendous performance. I mean, the work rate throughout the 12 rounds was phenomenal. I mean, the power in the punches, he just kept Clottey fully occupied for every second of the 12 rounds, never really allowed him into the fight. I gave him share of a couple of rounds because he was accurate with the right hand and he was piercing Pacquiao's defences, but he didn't win a round on my card, but definitely won a lot of friends instead.
There's Bob Arum, the 78-year-old promoter behind this promotion. He started with Muhammad Ali and George Chuvalo back in 1966, I think it was, top of my head.
And I think he has a special relationship with Pacquiao as well. I think he loves him as much as everybody does.
He never ever stopped throwing leather, did he? Again, you've got to think about that Mayweather fight. I think you have to take it into account. But Mayweather had set him a whole lot of other problems. But Clottey, they said he was tough. He was even tougher.
Yep, he took his bumps. I mean, not too often we see him caught cleanly on the chin. And what a testament that is to the tight defence that he used. His tactics were terrific for going the distance.
To the scorecards. Dwayne Ford scores at 120 to 108. Levi Martinez, 119-109. Nelson Vasquez, 119-109. All three to the winner by unanimous decision. The fighting pride of the Philippines, and still WBO welterweight champion of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
Two of the judges did give Clottey a round quite generously, but Pacquiao has won, and he's won by a landslide point decision here.
Phenomenal work rate from Pacquiao, courage from Clottey, reaction from Johnny Nelson and Glenn McCrory in a couple of minutes' time.